welcome to this month's vlog. I'm going to show you the beautiful late summer that we've had and early autumn in September and now early October. But I also wanted to take a moment to answer a couple of questions that I keep getting from people. For example, where I stand with that digital detox, the screen-free week that I did 2 months ago, and all my good intentions going forward. So there are good and bad news. The good news is I have kept some of my good habits. I still take days and sometimes entire weekends away from screens, which is doing me very, very good. But I've also in some ways slipped. Like, I'm in front of the computer a lot for my job, and just always keeping social media and emails turned off has turned out to be harder than I thought. And sometimes I still get drawn in. But I've also learned, I've recently read that brilliant book, Stolen Focus. You need to read that book. I'll write it in the information in the description below. That really says and explains how this is not an individual failing. Obviously, we as individuals need to take steps to work against it, but we shouldn't feel like failures or like we're weak when we're failing there, because here's us individually trying to make changes, and on the other side is an army of psychologists and highly trained engineers and people whose sole purpose is to keep us from getting away from our screens. So we need a fundamental, a structural change, a societal change. And there are people who say it's not possible. The genie's out of the bottle, you can't put it back in, but that's also in the book. Really read that book, Stolen Focus. It is possible. It can be done and it must be done. This is our task. This is what we need to do in order to move forward, in order to survive. It's vitally important for, I'm trying to not get too political, but for things like climate change and all the work that we need to do, we need to wake up and move away from our screens first. So yeah, I'm still doing it, but I'm also seeing the limits of what an individual can do. Before the golden sunny weeks, we've had some fairly heavy weather. Now that was a fairly heavy thunderstorm. I had everything plugged out and candles on. And I love thunderstorms normally, but it's difficult to enjoy it when you know there's actual damage happening, and that was the case with this particular storm. When the weather got better, I spent more time with my favorite village kitty. And then began the wonderful weeks of the year when I have fresh berries for supper every night. Because of the wet August that we had, unfortunately there were a lot fewer blackberries than normal. A lot of them rotted before they actually ripened. So I had to make the most out of the ones I got. What you see here is the ingredients of a tomato salad I'm going to make tonight. But it's also all from my neighbour's garden. Completely natural and organic, and I just took a walk and she said, I have so many, will you just take a few off me? Because I'm going away for the weekend, I didn't take any more. I don't want anything to spoil. But yeah, the garlic obviously is going to last for a bit. And yeah, tomato salad. Woo! I love living here. With my hay fever finally better, I can now go to my archery club in Slovenia. And I am having to relearn archery from scratch with my new wrist release, which means finding a new anchor point, relearning the release and the follow through, and everything is awkward and new. The weather stayed gloriously sunny, and so one day in early October, Cassandra and I went to this lovely lake here in our district for a walk in the forest. Apart from how beautiful it was, almost the best thing was that it was so quiet. We met maybe 3 people all afternoon. It's very magical. I mean, look at these mushrooms, they look incredible.
Yeah.
They look like satellite dishes. Look at the sun glittering on the water, it's like diamonds. Completely mesmerizing. On the way home, we stopped by another lake that I've shown you 3 times already. But this year they actually drained it in order to clean it. And here you can see the water is coming back in, but it's nowhere near where it used to be just yet. And before I leave you for today, look who's overcome their fear of me and now comes regularly for cuddles and treats. I do hope you enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, comment, like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And if you'd like more about a life of passion and purpose, I'm a coach and this is what I do, and my website is wildspiritscoaching.com. Have a wonderful month of October and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!